Hey guys, how you doing? Big Rich here, Ohio Fish Rescue, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to show you what I had to go through to get the saltwater system set up. So stick with us and I'll show you everything about it.
Are you done yet?
You around if you don't stop it.
Okay, so what we started with is 3 of these Radion XR30 lights. And they come in the box, and there's a big power thing that comes with it. They're really nice lights, and that's what we have on the saltwater tank now. So we're going ahead and I wanted to put 3 on there. But then the arm that we have only holds 1 light. So to buy 2 more arms, they were $140 a piece. That's $280 to hold all 3 lights. So I found this bar right here, this metal bar that's made for doing this. It was $60. So I bought the bar. Now I found out that not only am I going to spend more money because there's a certain mount that goes on top of these lights, an X brace, and then there's a brace that goes from this track to that X brace. That's $29. This is $29. So that's 60 $60 for each light. Now I'm back to $240. I'm like, I can't win. So here's what I did. Come on in here a little closer, Reaper. If you can see, this is a piece of just metal strapping. Well, I bent it. I drilled the holes, well, it had the holes, but I bent it and painted it to where now a screw goes in there, this goes over it, and this goes here. And what I did, this one is, I put a little piece of weather stripping, real thin little piece of rubber on there. It's self-stick, and then when I tighten this down, it clamps onto this rail, so it won't move now. So now I've got a way, here's the other ones. You can see they're just pieces of metal, but I painted them. They're ready to go. There's the screws for them, and then here's for the last light over here. They're ready to go with their screws. So I had an old hanging light back there, and here's how it goes into the ceiling. This little piece comes off. Okay, so now this is the hanging part. This is what you screw into the ceiling. Boom, you screw it in, and then you put your hanging part to that, and you tighten it up. So now it can hang from the ceiling. I measured the length I needed, and I've got 2 of them here. So here's 2 wires, and now I just got to figure out a way to connect this wire to these rails. I went and found, where are they at? Oh, here they are, right here. Rail sliders. This piece of hard plastic goes in the edge of this, right? And then you can slide it back and forth wherever you want it. There is a rubber thing that goes over it, so I tighten that up. Now the only thing I need to do, if you can see here, the bottom of this comes off. This is what's on the bottom of the rope, or the cable. I need something to slide into there, and then I can tighten it up against this. Hang on one second, let me put this back in. Okay, so now you can tighten it up against that. I need it to go in through there, and then both pieces need to go through this block, and then I got to find a way to stop it from coming through here. So once that's done, I can go ahead, and this will be hanging like so, and I can cut off the extra cable here. Now, being that you'll see this, I have this piece of, it's like a Chinese finger torture thing. See how it's netting? I can put that right up over it all the way to the cable, and then a little heat gun or a lighter, and it'll shrink right to it. So it'll be nice and black and look good, and that's how we're going to do it. My only problem is right now I've got to figure out a way to go through this piece of plastic, a loop around, like this. If this cable, okay, boom, I can put this through. I can put this back this way. Now this will definitely set into the end of this. I can put that right through there, right? And that'd be perfect. But I've got to find a way to make this cable where it cannot come back out this way. Like, you know, solder on a big end or a big piece of maybe a fishing lure, a fishing weight. You know, the lead fishing weights, I can clamp that on there. Something like that. But then this will hold the railing. And that's all I got to do to get it to hold. And we are done. So we're going to go ahead and mount these other lights over here. Oh, and on the bottom of this, I don't know if you can see, but you can see why the cable has track. It holds it all in there. So this one here has got its cable already in. So it's going to hang above the tank just like that. Real nice. And I'll have one, it's a 265 gallon tank, so it's 6 foot long. So basically it'll go from here, the center light, and then the third light. And that's all we got to do. And we're going to have this done today, basically. Let me put this up under here. Okay, there's the second one. And now the third one, we can run the wire in the track. Put it over here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and waste the time and put this together and bolt it together, and we'll be right back. Okay, we got this one on, this one's on, this one's on, this one's on, and this one. I left this last one off here because we still have to mount this other wire, but I mounted the first one. Here's the hanging part on the ceiling, and then here it is holding this up. I can lift it by it. See how nice that looks? I'm going to show you how I did that. I used, you remember we've got this piece here that slides in the little slider. Well, what I used was, I'll finish this up, a piece of tie wire, and I bent it in half like a cotter pin, and I pulled it up through the bottom of this, and I put this little piece of aluminum nail that I busted or cut in the end of it. I don't know if you can see that. Now it can't come up through. Let me see if I can get that right. Come on, fall. Oh geez, hang on. I gotta set this camera down on the tripod. So basically, put this through like so. Now that'll hang in the bottom of that, and I won't be able to pull this out of the end of this. Let me put this through in here. Basically like that. So this here can now slide in that track, but I didn't want it loose, so I put a little dab of hot glue on each side of this, and now this hole fits in that track, and boom, this sticks up. Okay, so what I did was I took these things here and I widened them way up into a big loop like so. So at the end of that, let me get it and I'll show it to you. I don't know if you can notice here, but the end of this here unscrews and there's a little slot right there. And basically it's made to put a wire through it. Let me get this on here. And then you would pinch it with this screw. You tighten it down. And the wire holds, okay? Well, what I did was, on the last one, I made this a loop. And I made it a circle so that both wires are now going to go through it. Let me over-exaggerate that, like so. And then both wires would go through that, and I brought the pin up from the bottom. So that's what we're going to do now, and I'm going to show you the finished product and how I made it, you know, go on here and look so nice and neat, because that's nice looking. You know, you've got your little covering, you've got all your bases, and it's still movable where you want it. So I'll show you how to do that next. Okay. Now I've got that, both of the wires are in that hole, and I tighten this up with pliers. So we're good to go. It's now going to slide in that slide basically, and I'll be able to lift up by this cable. I still have to glue the pin in here so it don't come out, but we're good. We're good to go. Now I'm going to open this piece up, which is this stuff right here, to slide over it. Okay, and there it is over it. All I gotta do is slide this through. I got a hot glue gun this pin in, and then all I gotta do is pull on it and put where I want to put this. Okay, now next, what we're gonna do is try and clean up these lines a little bit. Now they've all been ran through the channels of this rail, and they're all coming out right here. So what I'd like to do is make it look nice and neat to go from here down to their, what do you want to call them, the ballasts that come with them. There's 3 of those too, so they're pretty big. So I'm going to start zip tying these things with zip ties, little plastic things that you can get. They, real simple. And you just keep the wires the same. Don't let it twist over. Make it look nice. And you can keep putting zip ties on all the way down, and it'll come out looking like a professional job. Like the difference when have you ever seen a car stereo at a show or something where they're installed beautifully and all the wires look nice? That's what I'm talking about. Now we'll have one wire looking like this coming off of this instead of 3 separate wires hanging. And all it was a little bit of, these things cost like $1.30 for the zip ties. There we go. Basically, we're just turning these 3 wires into 1 wire. And, it just makes the whole job look better. Makes the whole lighting look better. Looks more professional. And all it takes is a little bit extra time and effort. Not much. See? Look at that. 1 wire as opposed to this would be hanging. Now, these 2 back on bottom. This one on top. There we go. Just try and evenly space them. And we are almost done. It's hard when you get old and you can't see. Plus, only having one eye, I got no distance judgment. So it's hard for me to like thread needles or fish hooks or anything like that anymore. I gotta do everything by feel. Oh, and catching things is absolutely off the table. You can't catch nothing. You got no distance judgment. Okay, I am done there. Let me clip off these ends. Let's go back with a pair of snips. Now this is the wire you're going to see coming from the light. It's going to look so much better. And that took me, what, all of 30 seconds? I didn't even fast forward. I just let you guys watch. Now it's one cable. It's going to look nice. I'm going to put a little bit, I could use hot glue. You could use silicone like I'm using. I'm just going to give it a dab of silicone. And whoa, that's more than a dab. Oh my goodness. That came out quickly. And then that way it won't move and it's guaranteed not to fall. Okay, let's go let this dry and I'll do the next part next. Okay guys, I've got the one hanger on this side and it's done. And I showed you how I was building the other hanger on the other side. Well, we got it done and it's on. So we're ready to go with this. This looks nice. And Josh just came. What's up, Josh? Good. Happy Easter, buddy.
Happy Easter, you and everyone else.
Yes, all of our people, happy Easter.
This?
What's that?
Can I lift up?
Of course, I built this.
Look at that.
Does that not look like
good.
Professional?
Well, I already gave you a compliment on this bar. Now seeing it all together, I see you painted these things so they match.
Yeah, and I put the weather stripping underneath.
All your bolts match. Look
yes,
at that.
And I put weather stripping underneath so we didn't scratch the arm. I even tied them together, made them look nice.
Good job, buddy.
Okay, if you guys can both lift it, Richie, lift that side, Josh, lift this side, and this is what it'll look like hanging above the tank. Let me get to the front of it. I'm sorry. So now that's what you're going to see hanging above the tank. Looks real professional, looks real good. And you know that $260 I saved just by using spare parts, you guys can set it down, spare parts I have in the junk drawer and in the garage, I can spend on fish food now. More necessities, not luxuries. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. I'm happy with that. What do you think, Josh?
Looks good. It'll definitely do the job.
Does it look better than you thought it would be? You thought it was going to be some homemade, looking crap.
It looks less like the hillbilly ingenuity job I thought it would be.
Hillbilly ingenuity job. All right, let's move on to the next thing.
All right, what's up, everyone? So my dad's in there messing around with Easter dinner. He's finishing up with that light as well, so I wanted to come out here and hit upon something. You guys remember this whole floor over here was stacked full of just crap. We got a little bit of stuff still right there we have to take care of. But on Saturday, I went ahead and came back here and organized these shelves a lot more. So now we've got buckets. You can see they're labeled. You've got heaters, you got heater controllers, bulkheads and fittings. We've got water movers and UV sterilizers, power heads. You've got, pull out drawers, FX5 parts. I still got to label the rest of these and still go through some more. But we've got, bioreactors, UV lights back there. Still have a little ways to come, but we are getting better at this organization of the pallet racks. All these lights are some that can be given away. But I'm gonna go turn these lights on and we're gonna have a little discussion real quick. All right, so in the previous video, you've seen that the Frontosa had gotten added into this tank. Well, there was a miscommunication between my dad and myself, and he had said he wanted to eventually put the Frontosas in with this cut colony, and I took that as he wanted them in here. Well, you know what, just admitting to my mistake, some of the smaller Frontosa probably should not have gone in here, but as you can see, they take to this back wall of rocks. There's probably about 20 of them right in this plant. You see the small ones popping out, and they pretty much stay to that whole back wall of these rocks, and they pop in and out. But a few of the smaller ones probably should not have gone in the Frontosa tank. So that was my mistake. I misread what my dad had told me. So that is my fault there. But you know what? We had to move all this stuff in front of these tanks so I could work on another project. I had to get to these 135s because we're pulling them out. And I got to be able to plumb in this 750 gallon right here. So I got to be able to get beneath all of these tanks. So getting all of them different tubs of crap up and these tanks out of here. I still got to get some stuff out from underneath this 1000. Then I can start working on plumbing in the 750. And hopefully it'll open up this whole aisleway and we'll be able to start on some more awesome projects. Then once the aisleway is completely opened up, we can start working on moving that Dwight Howard tank. So stick around, we've got a lot more crazy things happening here at OFR, but slowly but surely this place will come together. Just stick with us and this whole area will be transformed here soon. So we hope to catch you guys in the next video, and as always, stay fishy, my friends.